For him to do that to her about another woman while next to his mother, who is also a woman. Oh, like, oh. I've only got 2 stories today because I wanted to keep this really short. I have to say the second story was kind of crazy, like not what I expected at all. I chose it because it sounded more funny and a little bit cute, a little bit playful, but it ended up being a lot. We're heading straight into story 1, which by the title, I feel like it's not that big of a deal, at least for me. There's a tag saying no a-holes here. Hi, the other day my fiance and I were watching baseball, and the infographics and commentary were showing some stats of Babe Ruth. So I told her, she doesn't really watch that much baseball, me too actually, that Babe Ruth was like the Muhammad Ali of baseball. She asked me who Muhammad Ali was, and I said, you know, Muhammad Ali, of course. She was still confused, and I realized she didn't know who Muhammad Ali was. And so I said, how do you not know who Muhammad Ali is? And I told her about him. I noticed she was quiet afterwards, so I asked if she was good, and she said she was hurt at the way I had been surprised at her not knowing who Muhammad Ali was. I said he wasn't just a boxer, he was a cultural icon. So it just took me by surprise that she didn't know who he was. I mean, how did he ask her? I don't... So far, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, like I said, for her to be like, oh, I was hurt by the way you said it. Unless he was like, oh my god, you're so stupid, you don't know. Then it makes sense. But if it was just like, oh, you don't know? Wow. Then, for me, okay. Let's continue. And yesterday she came across something on her Instagram and was showing it to me. It was about Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. How the roles have reversed. She asked me what I thought about her, and I said I actually don't know a lot about her. I know of her, but not why she's famous. Yeah. She then feigned surprise and was like, oh, you know Kylie Jenner. This is so petty, honestly. I realized she was still hurt over the Muhammad Ali thing. Yep. So I didn't say anything. I didn't point out that it wasn't really the same thing. Kylie Jenner wasn't an icon the way Muhammad Ali was. And I had heard of her anyway, yeah. But she seems to still be hurt by what I said. Was I the asshole? I think, okay, honest opinion, I think it's kind of petty, like I said. I don't think it's something to still hold a little bit of grudge over. I also, okay, let's talk about it this way, right? I can see why she wouldn't know about Muhammad Ali. Maybe she grew up in a different place. Maybe she just wasn't interested in sport. As for me, I only know his name. So, because I didn't grow up in any Western country, so I only have heard of him as well, which was later in my life. So I kind of can see where she's coming from. Like, her not knowing Muhammad Ali is like a little bit of a surprise, but also at the same time, it's not something that's crazy, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in the world who doesn't know about him. And as for the question about like how the OP asked, I feel like if it wasn't really aggressive or it wasn't like accusing, then it's not really a bad thing. It's not really something to be angry or hurt over. Maybe his tone was a little bit more worse than what he thought he sounded like. I just think it's so funny that she was like, oh, you don't know Kylie Jenner? Where have you been living? A lot of people are asking about her ages, and he's 29 and she's 27. So it's even more funny that there are full adults who are having this kind of conversation. I'm not sure, maybe she was triggered by something else that happened before. We don't know the full story of how their relationship is. But for me, I just feel like it's kind of like, huh? Like, okay, let's move on. You didn't know about Muhammad Ali, it's okay, like, you know now. And I don't know about Kylie Jenner, and now I know. It's not like he didn't know, he has heard of her. OPS, and as for how I reacted in the moment, so when the infographic popped up, I said, Babe Ruth is like the Muhammad Ali of baseball. She said, who's Muhammad Ali? I honestly thought maybe she knew multiple important Muhammad Alis. So I said, you know, Muhammad Ali. And she still didn't recognize him, and again said, Muhammad Ali who? This is so funny for no reason. And then I just said in a regular tone, How do you not know who Muhammad Ali is? Okay, regular tone. It's subjective. She said, why would I know of some Muhammad Ali? And then I was stunned for a couple of seconds. Maybe that showed on my face. And then I went over who he was. Okay, that was my main question, was like, how did you sound? Like, maybe you thought you sounded regular, like you said, like a very like, oh, you don't know, but maybe it was a little bit more, it was a little bit different than how you actually sounded to her. But like I said, he's not the asshole. Let's like get that over with. Not the asshole. I don't even think there was any assholery here to talk about. It was just like a simple conversation between two people. And yeah, maybe she got hurt, but also at the same time, it's not like, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. You know, it's not like they argued over it. It was just like, oh, you don't know who this is? Well, blah, 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 this is who he is. And then that should have been the end of conversation. But it sounds like maybe they're like, their conversation styles are wildly different, maybe. Who knows? But I would say not the asshole, and he needs to let go. Like, it was just a comment. It's fine. So this is the second story, and it was only posted a day ago, and I just really like the title because it says, am I the asshole for telling my cousin that's why you're single? And it has like 6.9k upvotes and 425 comments. So let's see what this is about. Yesterday I went to the beach with my aunt and one of my cousins. Okay, I'm the youngest in the group at 37. Today is my birthday and we were celebrating early by going out to the beach. Drinking was involved, which is likely why it blew up like it did. Yeah, alcohol is always the problem. We had been at the beach for a few hours by this point, and we were debating extending our parking for a bit more time. My cousin, male, starts loudly trying to get me to turn around and look at a woman walking by. He was saying some pretty stuff like, you just know she likes it dirty and in the... Okay, and other random gross comment. Yeah, definitely gross. He was saying it loudly enough that she could hear, and when she passed us, she turned around and looked at us. So I looked at him and said, this is why you're single. He kind of laughed and said something to me in an attempt to clap back, and then said, you know that's a hurtful thing to say, right? Oh my god, I just hated when like they try to victimize themselves by being like, oh, this is why nobody likes me, when you did this to yourself. I told him that I really wasn't concerned with his hurt feelings after all the gross shit he said while he was basically catcalling a woman walking by. Yeah, good. It resulted in us both shouting at each other and just packing up to leave. After dropping him off at his apartment, my aunt, his mother, said I didn't need to be mean to... Oh my god. Okay. There's another thing I really don't like. It's when mothers just stand up for their children. Not even children, just the sons. You know, I've noticed this a lot with like the... What do they call? Not mama's boys. What's the moms that love their son? What are they called? I don't know. It's a boy's mama or something, whatever they're called, right? I've noticed this a lot. Like, they always excuse their child's... In this story, he's an adult, obviously, because the OP is 37 and he's the youngest, so obviously that other cousin is older. Instead of the mother being like, hey, that was really vulgar and you don't need to use that kind of language, you shouldn't have said that to another woman, blah 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 blah, like trying to teach him a lesson. Can you even teach a 40-year-old person anymore? I guess you can. As a mom, you could have just been like, what the fuck? The cousin by himself is like disgusting creep, but the mother on top is like, oh, I can see maybe this is why he turned out the way he did. For her to go to OP and then be like, oh, like, why did you say that to my son? Oh, you're so mean, blah 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 blah. He was just joking. Probably that's what she said, right? It's just, I just feel like you're a woman and that happened to another woman. Can you not put yourself in her shoes, even though that is your son? Like, how is it so difficult for some people to understand that it's not okay? So OP says, but if you're standing around shouting vulgar shit, don't be surprised Pikachu face when someone calls you out for it. Exactly. Was I really wrong? Am I the asshole because of what I said and because I said I didn't care about his feelings? No. For me, you're clearly not the asshole. This was needed. Because I think if you didn't tell him, then nobody else would have. Like, certainly not his mother. Maybe not his father or like the rest of the family member too. Well, I mostly called him out because I was just grossed out by what he was saying. To be honest, this whole time I was thinking it was another guy, like OP was a guy, it doesn't even matter. Even if you're like a man or a woman or whatever, you need to have some basic decency and basic respect for other human beings, regardless of what gender she was, right? The woman that was walking by. It's just like really, really gross and entitled of him. And like now that I'm thinking about it, he was actually trying to tell OP, oh, like, oh, look at her, blah, 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 like trying, like, what did she say again? She said he was loudly trying to get me to turn around and look at a woman walking by, and OP is another woman. So he felt like he could do that. That's like another level of disgusting, actually. Because I thought he was trying to be like, hey, bro, or like, we're both guys, haha, we joke around like that. And then OP was like, no, but now that I know that OP is also another woman, for him to do that to her about another woman while next to his mother, who is also a woman, oh, like, oh, the entitlement to do that and then think that he's not in the wrong and like all the women are crazy, basically. Okay. I would just say cut him out, girl. If I heard this from my friend, for example, right, and she was like, this happened to me, I would have just been like, just block his number, cut him out, don't talk to his mom, just tell them, hey, you guys are both disgusting and I don't stand for this, and then just block and delete. But I know like family situations can be really, really complex. So, not, but I would just avoid going anywhere near him or his mother for just for your own like sanity, because like if he's comfortable saying this to you in public next to his mother, then who knows like privately what he's doing, what he's saying, how he's acting, how he's talking to other women or men. Ugh, it's just wow. I thought this was gonna be like honestly, I thought this was going to be like a cute, funny story, kind of like sometimes I say this, like not this. Like sometimes if someone tells me, right, if they're like, oh, like I really want a boyfriend, but I don't go out, I don't want to like socialize, I don't want to blah 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 blah. I just want to sit at home and like find a man. That's when I'm like, oh yeah, that's why you're single. You should go out and meet people. I thought it was gonna be that kind of story, not whatever this shit is. And honestly, I'm kind of glad he's single. I hope he's single. I hope he stays single for a long time. That's it for today. There's only like 2 stories because this is my first Reddit video. So I wasn't sure if this is something that people want to see or not, because right now I'm experimenting with a lot of my content. So I just decided to do a Reddit story out of nowhere because I love listening to these. If you like this video, then please could you comment and let me know if you want to see more of these kind of videos, or if there's a different topic that you would like me to do. If you would prefer me to go back to my reaction, then do let me know. If you could give me any kind of feedback, that would be really, really helpful, because I'm not sure where to take my channel from here. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.